Welcome to the Blackwell Archives. My name is Caleb Marshall, and if you're reading this, then I need you to listen carefully. Not because I think you'll believe me, but because, at this point, I don't have anyone else left to tell. Every time I try, the world resets itself, conversations unravel, memories slide backward, and the people I care about blink through me as if we've never spoken. Everything resets, except my phone. I don't understand why. I don't understand how, but I know this. Something is wrong with time, and my device is the only thing keeping the pieces from scattering into nothing. The first loop happened on an ordinary Wednesday. I was sitting in the kitchen, half awake, scrolling through emails while the kettle hissed. A notification appeared at the top of the screen. New photos added to your gallery, 8:14 a.m. That wouldn't have been strange, except my phone was face up on the counter. I hadn't touched the camera all morning. Still, curiosity won over irritation. I opened the gallery. 3 new photos waited at the top. I almost closed the app immediately. The first picture was me standing in the kitchen wearing the same clothes, holding the same mug, but the timestamp was 6 minutes in the future. The second photo showed me again, but this time the window behind me was dark, like night had fallen. The third, that's when the kettle clicked off, the sound jolting through me. In the last photo I wasn't holding a mug at all. I was staring straight into the camera, eyes wide, mouth half open as if caught mid-sentence. Something stood behind me, a blurred shape, human-shaped, but wrong. I locked the screen. The photos vanished. Not deleted, vanished. Not in trash, not in recent, not in any backup cache. I spent 10 minutes scrolling through folders like a lunatic, checking hidden directories, cloud sync logs, anything, nothing. It was as if they had never existed. I convinced myself it was a glitch, a temporary sync error, or a corrupted thumbnail. Phones do strange things sometimes, right? But when I poured my coffee, I noticed something. The clock on the oven said 8:14 a.m., and I swear for a moment the angle of the sunlight felt identical to the first picture. The second loop happened that afternoon, and that one I couldn't rationalize away. I stepped outside to check the mail, and the world felt thin. That's the only way I can describe it. Like a movie set before the extras walk in. The houses on my street looked normal, but the silence felt rehearsed. My neighbor, Mrs. Foster, stood watering her plants, except she wasn't moving. The water poured in a straight ribbon, her hand motionless, like someone had paused her mid. I blinked, and sound snapped back. The rush of water, the wind, a distant car door, everything restarting at once. She turned, smiled, and asked how my day was going, as if the moment of frozen time had never happened. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text notification. Reminder, don't look up, 3:41 p.m. I didn't write that. My phone insisted it had come from my own number. The timestamp said it had been scheduled yesterday. Except I remember exactly what I was doing yesterday at 3:41, standing in line at the grocery store. Bored out of my mind, scrolling through news feeds. I would never send myself something like that. So naturally, I looked up. Everything shifted. Not dramatically. Not like a movie. Just wrong. The sky looked a shade too pale. The clouds held still a second too long before moving again. And the street, my street, had 2 of the same car parked across from each other. Same make, same dents, same sticker peeling in the same corner. I stared until my eyes watered. When I finally looked down again, my phone screen lit up with a new notification. Video saved, 0:17. There was no preview thumbnail. The video was dark, shaky, recorded vertically as if I'd filmed it without noticing. The audio played first. My voice whispered, "Don't look up." Then I saw myself in the frame. Same shirt, same street, same time of day. I watched myself turn my head toward the sky. The video ended abruptly, just as my eyes in the recording widened in horror. The real world jerked, like the ground had hiccuped. And suddenly I was standing in my kitchen again, the kettle hissing, the clock reading 8:14 a.m. Even though I swear I'd already lived through the entire day. The coffee mug felt warm in my hands, though I hadn't poured anything. My heart pounded so loudly I thought it might drown out the ringing silence of my reset life. That was the first time I realized. The day had rewound, but the memory remained in my phone. From there, the loops grew worse, shorter, more frequent. I would blink and find myself mid-step in a hallway I'd already walked. Conversations repeated but changed subtly, like actors trying out different line deliveries. My boss asked if I'd finished a report I distinctly remember submitting the day before, yet on the office server it didn't exist. My sister called to tell me about her newborn's first word for the second time. Only this time, she said a different word. Meanwhile, my phone kept collecting evidence. audio files timestamped hours in the future, notes I never typed, screenshots of texts I never sent, photos of places I'd never been or hadn't been yet. The strangest part wasn't the content, it was the tone. My own messages started sounding urgent, frantic, like warnings sent from a version of me who'd already lived through something I was trying to avoid. One note read, "The reset happens when you fall asleep. Don't fall asleep yet." Another read, "It's learning." Another, "If reality changes but you remember, it will notice you." And the one that kept me awake the longest, "Do not delete the loops. They are the only things keeping you real." I stopped sleeping. I had to know what was happening. I spent hours comparing versions of the world, noticing inconsistencies, invisible seams where the resets stitched themselves over reality. Small details first, mailboxes changing color, cracks in the pavement disappearing, signs shifting font. But then bigger things, entire buildings appearing or vanishing between loops, familiar faces replaced by strangers who acted like they'd always lived here. The first time I saw the shape from the kitchen photo was during the 7th or 8th reset. I had stopped counting by then. I was sitting in my living room, lights off, staring at my phone, hoping it would warn me about the next loop before it hit. But instead, it buzzed with a video notification. The preview showed a dark figure standing in my hallway. I froze. Slowly, I turned my head. The hallway was empty, or so it seemed. When I turned back to my phone, the video began playing automatically. In the footage, the figure stepped closer. The shape was human-like but shrouded in digital distortion, as if reality itself couldn't decide what it was. A glitch, but alive. A flickering outline with limbs that didn't bend quite right. The timestamp on the video said now. I ran, or tried to. The world blurred and folded inward. And then the reset hit. This time, when my vision snapped back, I wasn't in my kitchen. I was outside, in the street, standing barefoot on cold pavement. The sky was wrong again. Too dark for morning, too light for night. My phone displayed a new message. It followed you through the loop. Since then, it appears in nearly every reset, never fully visible. Always half-formed at the edge of things. Reflections in windows that shouldn't exist. Silhouettes behind me in mirrored surfaces. Glitches in my peripheral vision. And every time a loop occurs, it's closer. Watching more boldly. My phone sometimes records it even when I don't see it myself. A message appeared 2 days ago. It knows you're resisting. Another, stop checking the phone. It notices, but I can't stop. If I stop, the loops blur together. I lose track of which version of events I belong to. Sometimes, between loops, things stay the same for a while, long enough for me to convince myself that the nightmare is over. And then I notice some tiny inconsistency that shatters the illusion. A bruise I didn't have yesterday. A voicemail from a person who doesn't exist anymore. A scar on my hand missing or newly formed. I think I understand now. The world isn't resetting. I am, or something is forcing me to. Forcing me through different branches of the same day. Observing how I react. Adjusting variables. And my phone, for whatever reason, refuses to rewrite itself. It keeps all versions, or fragments. Maybe because it's designed to sync, to store, to remember. Maybe because it's less malleable than the rest of reality. Or maybe, and this scares me the most, maybe something else is using it to guide me. The loops weaken me. Each reset feels heavier, harder to push through, like wading through thick water. And the shapeless entity that flickers between frames, seems less like a monster and more like a shepherd, a guide, a warden, keeping me within the boundaries of the loop. 2 nights ago, the loop didn't reset fully. That had never happened before. I woke up in my living room, but it wasn't the same version of the room I'd fallen asleep in. The clock was stuck at 3:07 a.m. The lights flickered constantly, too fast for the human eye, but my phone camera captured each flicker as a perfectly still frame. The thing stood in the corner, not glitching, not distorted, fully formed, tall, humanoid, eyes pitch black and too wide. My phone buzzed in my hand. A new message, ask it why. I didn't move. I couldn't. I only breathed enough to stay conscious. Then another message. Ask before it resets you again. A third. This is your last chance. So I forced my mouth to move. My voice came out weak, shaking. Why me? The thing tilted its head, a slow, unnatural arc. Then the world folded inward again, but this time, I didn't reset. I collapsed. I awoke on the floor. My phone screen cracked. The loop continuing from where it left off. No reset, no rewind, just continuation. That was the first time I realized something. I'm getting closer to the center, closer to the truth. And it doesn't want me to. My phone vibrates constantly now, cycling through warnings, predictions, fragments of loops that haven't happened yet. It's almost as if the phone is trying to act as a counterweight, pulling me toward an exit while the entity tightens the loop to keep me in. Today, the world feels thinner than ever. The seams are tearing. My phone battery stays at 1% no matter how long I charge it. The messages arrive in bursts, like it's struggling to push them through. The latest says, "You're nearing the original loop." The first break. Another, "When you reach it, don't move." Another, "If you move, you'll start again." And then, "It's close." I can feel something behind me while I write this. The air bends around its presence. The edges of my vision flicker like an old CRT screen. My phone just showed me the final message. The one I think it's been trying to send all along. You were never meant to remember. The screen is dimming. The world feels like it's tightening, coiling back, preparing to snap. If this is uploaded to the archive, it means I reached the center, or the end, or a version of the end. And if anyone ever reads this, please check your phone. If it remembers things you don't, if it shows you fragments of days you haven't lived yet, don't ignore it. Don't look up. Don't try to understand the loops. Don't ask the thing why. And above all, whatever you do, don't let your phone forget you.